Hello, this is Giant Tank 1400, and this is All Grown Up Season 5 review. Now, this season, I kind of remember it being good, but like not as good as Season 3, but a little bit better than Season 4. Somewhere between those lines. Anyway, so we have a list of like all the episodes and kind of what I rate them. Looking at these ratings, maybe I was a little bit too lenient here and there, a little bit too gracious. However, like the overall score is from this is a 9 out of 10, so pretty solid overall. The animation was done pretty good. In the past seasons and stuff, I kind of complained about the animation not being as good as I expect. I mean, compared to nowadays, of course, the animation is not that good. But I overall, I think the animation is steady and it does give detail when it needs to be. This season I did a farewell, and I'll show a few like shots here and there about times where I think they did the animation pretty well overall. Nothing really to say about the transitions. I kind of stopped talking about the transitions as the seasons and as the episodes went on. Like I said, like the first season had the transitions of like those weird box things, and they got rid of those after the first season, which I thought was a good move. Overall, well done. Transitions are best noted when they aren't noticed. So I didn't really notice them, so that was good. Now, one of the best things about this season, in my personal opinion, is the development of my favorite character, Kimmy. She got not one, but actually two episodes that gave her pretty good character development overall. And they were, let's see, Trading Places and Pretentiousness. I gave both episodes a 10 out of 10. They did great. Trading Places really developed Kimmy's character in the sense that her parents are divorced and that she kind of felt left off because her father had another child, and it was Children's Day in Japan, so she was expecting a gift from her dad, and she didn't, and she just assumed that it was because her dad had a new kid. Now, as I mentioned in that episode review, it's really good to see this dynamic. Like a lot of a lot of people's parents are divorced, especially in the U.S., and it kind of creates this connection to this character. Like, oh, this is something that I kind of went through myself, and now I'm connecting to Kimmy, which is why Kimmy is my favorite character because I connect with her. Out of all the eight main characters, she's the one I connect with the most. She doesn't get as much character development as I would like, but I do have that connection with her, which is why she's my favorite character. Now, the episode potential in this was just an amazing episode overall, and I'll talk more about that later. Another thing I thought was really done well this season and in past seasons as well is just Phil and Dill's comedy. It just anytime they're on screen that doesn't have like them the focus but has them in the background that they're doing something comical. It's just funny overall, and comedy is really one of the things that makes something like lasting that you can like rewatch. I mean, stuff is not always like the first time you watch something. Usually it's like the funniest, but sometimes the second time you didn't catch that joke. So comedy always has like a toll to basically rewatchability, and that's what really keeps like me personally like that's one of the reasons I keep watching is because at times it's funny and people just need to laugh in general. I mean that's kind of why like sitcoms are always like the reruns of sitcoms over and over again is because even though people seen that show like that episode like a million times, they still watch it because it's comedy because it's kind of a step out of the norm for their everyday life. So that's really good. Comedy, it's not always done right and but I thought it was done pretty well this season overall, especially with Phil and Dill's character. Another good thing always is see Suzy and Angelica's like sisterly bond. In the first episode, Suzy Goes Bad Light, we get to see like the reverse of what we usually see. We usually see Suzy being the voice of reason to Angelica, but in this episode, we see Angelica being the voice of reason to Suzy. So it was good to see that flip flop, and it was good to see like Angelica take the fall for Suzy, and it was just really good to always see those two characters have a sisterly bond that they've developed throughout the series and kind of really come to full really during that episode. I mean, they kind of shared it in potential in this as well, but it was really displayed the best in Suzy Goes Bad Light. Now, two of the most underdeveloped characters in this series has really their best character development in the last episode of the entire series, Golden Boy. And that's Stu and Drew. Like, it was shown their brotherly bond. Drew in particular gets like almost zero character development throughout the entire series. I mean, with the exception of Howard, that's Phil and Lil's dad, and perhaps Kira. Actually, I don't know if Kira got she got about the same as Drew. Drew was like the one of the least developed characters throughout the entire series of the show. That's just sad. It would have been great to see like Angelica's dad more. It's like they didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know what to do much with Stu either. But I thought this episode did share like their brotherly bond, their brotherly rivalry they had. They kept. It was funny seeing them always hand off the car, and the car ended up turning out to be like a collectible item because it was driven by Elvis after they destroyed it. So I thought it was really good to see. Now, before I get to some of the like the bad things I thought about this season, let me just talk about like each character's growth. Like Tommy, in general, like he has character. He's the main character of the entire series. Yet his character throughout the series does not grow nearly as much as Angelica and Chucky's. I mean, he does learn lessons, but it doesn't seem like he holds on to those lessons overall. This season's like no different. Like, I mean, we got him like starring in it was like 6 episodes. Yeah, 6 episodes. He was kind of like the star of, and that's like, well, I'm not gonna list them all, but basically, I'm looking at these episodes, and I mean, he learned lessons in like superhero worship and Golden Boy. But other than that, I mean, he didn't really learn like that many lessons. Though it was fun and all broke up to see him screw up royally to the point that he didn't get anything. I mean, it's sad that he basically got the short end of every stick. He basically he lost that new girl and he lost Rachel completely, and he was devastated to the point that only Chucky would actually help him because of his actions from before. So it did kind of teach him a lesson, and like all broke up. But at the same time, it was funny. But at the same, like I said, Tommy kind of really lost. He took a huge L during that episode. I mean, it was funny to watch, but at the same time. Now, Chucky, on the other hand, did get some really good character development in superhero worship, and to a little less extent in like Potentialness and TP plus KF. Superhero worship is kind of where he really shined. Now, it was related to Rat Traps, and Rat Traps is, as I said during that review, was better done. But at the same time, it was good to see the superhero worship thing, and good to see Chucky stand up to be the hero in the end. It was good, and it was good that they related it to his mom at the end. Like I said, there could have been some more hints there that was related to his mom passing and everything, but we wanted the writers kind of wanted to review it from Tommy's point of view. We didn't know it until Tommy was told by Dill. So it was really good to see his character development throughout this season and the series. But other than that, Chucky, really well done character. Now, Angelica, again, a great character. She gets character development in Suzy Goes Bad Light, What's Love Got to Do with It, and Potentialness. Now, Suzy Goes Bad Light is one of her biggest character shines, and shows really throughout the series how much she has developed. I mean, she's still Angelica. She's still gonna be mean. She's still gonna be manipulative. However, this episode shows that she can actually help her friend. She helped Suzy, and she was the voice of reason, and she took the fall for Suzy. So it did show that character growth that we wouldn't really have. I don't think Angelica would have done that in season one or season two for that matter. So it was really good to see her character growth in this season, the final season of All Grown Up. Now, I already talked about Kimmy. Um, Suzy, I kind of talked about already with Angelica, but it was good to see that she was like the bad girl in Suzy Goes Bad Light, and actually potentially in this too. But also like in What's Love Got to Do with It, she like stood by Angelica, and she warned Angelica. She was the voice of reason to Angelica in that episode. So I mean, it's really good to see Angelica and Suzy always have that sisterly rivalry going on, like I say. Now Phil, he has a side plot in Suzy Goes Bad Light, and we get to see him basically be an amazing chef. He's extremely talented at cooking, and there's like hints about it, but he's like, it seems like he's talented at art in general. So I would have liked to see like in the future, even though we'll never see it, about him like becoming some kind of artist or something like that. But it was good to see that, and this is like the first episode that has like one of Phil or Lil like just by themselves developing without the other. I wish they would have done that with Lil, and that gets me one of the disappointments in this is that Lil basically gets zero character development this season, and they did some pretty bad stuff with her in what's the episode called? Bad Blood. Like she was like downright mean in Bad Blood. Like I don't understand it. It doesn't really line up. I mean, there were some moments with her and Chucky that she was supporting Chucky, but I mean, other than that, like Lil got like zero character development throughout the season, which is definitely a minus. I think every character should have like one episode or at least a side plot in the season, um, relating to developing their character. Now Dill had like Bad Blood and Golden Boy, and in Bad Blood he was just kind of like he was he was the means for the story to go on. Like he kept introducing Tommy to bad news. Not really a big fan of Bad Blood, but I mean he played his part well and it was comical. In Golden Boy, the whole struggle between him and Tommy, it was good to see Tommy fail, and it was good to see Dill succeed. But other than that, like that was good. Now, what am I gonna rate this episode overall? I mean, not the episode, the whole season. I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. It did well overall, like a little lower than its actual rating because I don't think it deserved a 9. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm being too lenient again. Maybe it doesn't deserve an 8.5, but that's how I'm gonna give it. Anyway, so on to my favorite episode and the least favorite episode. So my favorite episode is between Attention This and Suzy Goes Bad Light. Now, I like Suzy Goes Bad Light. It has an amazing side plot. The whole reversal of Angelica and Suzy's roles are amazing. Well done. However, Attention This is one of my favorite episodes of all time in this series. And the more I think about it, the more I like it. They touch on political corruption, and not in a boring way. And they touch on like some really key things. You have to make sacrifices for your bill to pass. You have to do mudslinging if you want to get ahead. And that's the way it is in real politics. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be like that, but it is. And the whole role like Angelica plays is just she plays the villain so well, and then Suzy's also the villain, and Chucky's just that guy who doesn't know much about the issue, but he is the puppet to the puppet master Angelica, which happens in politics. He's the face, and she's the one calling the shots. And then you got Kimmy who is convinced by Suzy to play dirty because in order to get her bill passed. I thought the episode was really well done, and it creates this conflict between like Chucky and Kimmy. That's we never really get to see. I mean, we get to see here and there their conflict, but it was good to see it here. Also, Tommy like stays up all night trying to put together um, the slideshow of all their pictures, or well, not, it's not a slideshow. Is they have all this film, and he was just trying to edit it all together for their parents' anniversary, for Kimmy and Chucky's anniversary, and that's the thing that actually gets Chucky and Kimmy to forgive each other in the end, which is really well done. I thought the tension in this is an amazing episode. Anyway, the least favorite episode, TP plus KF, or Bad Blood. Now, TP plus KF is, as I said during my review of it, I think it's a troll. You think, oh, two of the main characters are going to get together. No, and this is a Halloween episode. There's so many things that go on. I think they do a pretty good job with it. However, this plot has been done several times between Tommy and Chucky. And like the plot itself isn't done well, I don't think, and how they make up is not done well. I don't know. I just don't like the episode. However, Bad Blood is, in my opinion, worse. And the reason it's worse is because you don't learn anything at all in the episode. Not only that, but it's like Dill just keeps piling it on, and Tommy just is the one that really is the only one taking the brunt for it. The whole fact that they pretty much butcher Lil's character. She's mean, and she's like never like that. And also Dill's character in general, like he wasn't that really that funny in it, and I mean it's funny here and there. And you just got two old people, and at the end to resolve the conflict, oh, they just forgot what it was all about. Really? I mean, the only redeeming thing about Bad Blood is that Phil was funny, and that's it. It's the only reason I would have to watch that episode again. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the All Grown Up season 5 review. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a series review. I'm probably gonna touch some of the characters as well in my character discussion videos, but it's gonna be sparse. Probably gonna focus on Ruby and other things in the time being, but I'll definitely get back to All Grown Up and do some character discussions at the very least. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the review and all the rest of All Grown Up. Well, see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.